So let's scroll to the first page. If necessary, you can have a piece of paper. You can jot down the workings. Anything that you think is worth your attention, which you think is important, you jot down. Okay. So question 1. So if we can complete 2 papers, that means there are 70 questions to discuss. 70 questions to discuss. If we can finish both and there's still time, then we discuss some questions for the third set of paper 1. Okay. Ahmed is a trader. Why should he prepare financial statements? Yeah. If you are aware, financial statements means income statement, SOFP, okay, income statement, statement of financial position. If you are doing a manufacturing business accounting, if you are doing the accounting for a manufacturing business, financial statements also includes manufacturing account. Okay, it also includes manufacturing account if you are doing for manufacturing business. If you are doing for company, you know, companies accounting, it also includes the SOCIE table, the statement of changes in equity. Okay? All these are financial statements. So why does Ahmed prepare financial statements as a sole trader? Trader means sole trader, okay? Running the business alone. Why? To apply business entity principle. Business entity principle is about knowing what is private in nature, knowing what is related to the business. This could be the answer because when you do financial statements, you are just focusing on the business. You do not let anything personal. You do not let anything about your family goes into the income statement and SOFP. Okay, so A could be the answer. I say could be because I have not read through the rest first. Okay, if there's no other answer, which if I think that B, C, D are for sure not the answer, then I will choose A. But if I can find a better answer than the A, then I will choose the other one. Okay, for now, KIV answer is A. B, monitor business performance. This is better. When you do income statement, very obviously you are trying to monitor your business performance. Is it making money or not? Making profit or loss or not? Okay, so B will be my choice now. That's the closest answer. Prepare bank reconciliation statement. This is just part of the process of the whole subject. This is just part of the process of the whole subject. This entire subject. This is just one small part of it. So this is not the purpose of preparing financial statement. No. Record changes to his personal wealth. Is financial statement related to something personal? No, it's about the business, not something personal. Okay, so D wrong, C wrong. Between A and B, both A and B are actually correct, but you have to choose the closest answer. You don't circle A and B in the final exam. Eh? So answer is B. Okay, monitor business performance. Number two is a question that looks easy, but many students, they make mistake for the question too. Let's see why. Which transaction will increase both the asset and capital by the same amount? Okay. I'll let you know which is the answer, then I explain, okay? Answer is B, because goods were sold for cash at a higher price than their cost. Okay. You are aware that goods is inventory, right? Goods is inventory. When you have sold some goods, do you always sell at a higher price to your customer? Yes, right? You always try to sell at a higher price to your customer, right? So that you can make some money, right? Okay, you must try to sell at a price higher than cost, right? Okay, to make some money. Let's say the goods that you sold have cost you 1,000. The goods that you have sold has cost you 1,000. You sold for cash, which means after selling off the goods, your goods become lower by 1,000. But your cash become higher by, maybe you sold it for 1,002. Okay, it cost you 1,000 to buy last time, and you sold it for 1,002 right now. After selling it off, your goods disappear because you have sold it off. But what do you get in return? You get more money in your business. You get money in your business. And has there been an increase in asset here? Yes. For this asset, it comes down by 1,000. For this asset, it goes up by 1,002. One comes down, one goes up. But this has gone up more, right? This has gone up more. So there's been a increase in asset of 200. There's been an increase in asset of 200. Increase in asset of 200. And is this known as profit? Yes. Right? Agree? You bought for 1,000, you sold for 1,002. And this is known as profit. Profit goes to where? You still remember in the SUFP, after presenting NCA, after presenting CA, what is the next? Next will be capital session. In the capital session, you start with opening balance. If you have made some profit for the year, you will add it here. If you have drawings, you minus it here, remember? Followed by NCL, followed by CL. That's how you do SUFP. Focusing on this capital session. Whenever you have made profit, capital will increase because profit is always added here. When you make more profit, the capital will keep increasing. So just now you made a profit of 200, right? Therefore, capital has increased by 200. Assets also increased by 200. Therefore, answer is B. Okay. So this is a very good question because many students do this wrongly. Okay, that means it proves that it's a worthwhile question to do. Yeah, now we see question 3. How did Pradeep record this discount? We are Pradeep. Okay, we are Pradeep in the question. Pradeep settle Amal's account. That means we are making payment. We make payment. That means we are customer. Agree? That means we are customer. Amal is our supplier. Okay, we are Pradeep. Amal is our supplier. We are making payment by bank. And then we receive a cash discount for prompt payment. What do you call this as? When we are a customer, we are Pradeep, right? We are customer, right? You call the cash discount as discount received. Okay, we call the cash discount as discount received. The double entry is debit supplier, which means debit amount, debit amount. Credit discount received. Okay, so there's nothing to explain about this. Okay, it's whether you know or you don't know. Okay, the double entry. Okay, I believe you are aware of it. So debit amount, credit discount received. Okay, so this is the double entry for recording discount received. Let's say in another question, you are asked to record cash discount, but in that question you are customer. Sorry, in the other question you are supplier. Okay, let's say there's another question, they ask you to record cash discount, but you are the supplier. So if we are supplier, we record it as discount allowed. We have to debit discount allowed, debit discount allowed, credit customer account. Okay, this is the entry to do if we are supplier. Okay, if we are supplier. In this question, we are Pradeep, we are customer. Therefore, this is the entry. Okay, so BBA so far. Okay, the answers. Okay. Number 4. I'm trying to use a speed that is average to everybody lah. Okay, not so fast, not too slow. But if you are slightly slower than my average speed, then you can let me know lah. I try to slow it down to cater everyone. Okay, but not too slow lah. Okay, not too slow. But you still get to see the replay video lah. If you want to catch up on certain questions, you want to hear my explanation again on a certain question, you want to hear a few more times, you want to hear for 10 times, then you see the replay video lah. Okay, in that case, okay, if necessary, only if necessary. Question 4. Which transaction was being recorded? Okay. Morgan made the following entry. Okay. That means we are Morgan in this question. We debit sale returns. Okay. Whenever you use the term sale returns, that means you are supplier. Agree? As a supplier, as a seller, when we sell goods, we call it sales. When customer return goods to us, we call it sale returns. So as a supplier, we use these two terms. Never a time you will see a customer using these two terms. Okay. So in this question, I know that we are Morgan, we are supplier, because they use the term sale returns. As a supplier, we receive the returns of goods from Sally. Okay, let's see which one it is. Goods returned by Sally to Morgan, either C or D lah. And Morgan is Sally supplier. Agree? So answer is D. To be honest with you, to some extent, I think that this is testing on your grammar lah. Okay, whether you can understand the grammar correctly or wrongly. Okay, so answer is D. Sally returned goods to Morgan, and Morgan is Sally's supplier. Okay, so answer is D. Number 5. Which document would Rekha send to Abdu? Okay, so let's see what happened. Abdu sell goods on credit to Rekha. Rekha is the customer. Abdu is the supplier. Whenever you see a few names in the exam question, you must be able to find out who is each of them, okay? Who is supplier, who is customer. Some goods were damaged in transit. Sell goods on credit to Rekha. Some goods were damaged in transit. Consequently, when Rekha has received the goods, Rekha will discover some damaged goods. Okay, Rekha will be able to see some damaged goods in the package. Consequently, Rekha has to return the goods back to Abdu. Rekha has to return these goods that were damaged back to Abdu. What document Rekha has to send? What document Rekha has to send along with the goods return? Debit note. Okay, so nothing to explain. In a goods returning transaction, customer sends debit note, then only supplier sends credit note. Okay, so in this case, Rekha is the customer sends debit note. And B. Number 6. Which business documents provide information for writing up sales journal and sale return journal? From this line, I know that we are supplier. How I know? Because you see the word sales, sale returns. Okay. What document do you record into sales journal? Sales invoice. Sales invoice tells you that you have sold goods on credit. Invoice issue, okay? Because in this question, we are supplier. Supplier sends invoice, okay? So we call it invoice issue. And credit note issue is to be recorded into the sale return journal. Okay, so answer is A. As a supplier, we send invoice, we send credit note. Okay, so this question is testing you on whether you know you are supplier or not. Okay, if you determine that you are customer, then your answer will be if you determine yourself to be customer, you will be recording into purchaser journal, you'll be recording into purchase return journal, then answer will be D instead. Okay, answer will be D instead if you are customer in this question. Okay, so quite straightforward for this question. Question 7. Which entry should be made in John's book on 10 September? So we are John in this question. Do you notice what I have been doing for the past 6 questions? Do I read the first sentence all the time? Never. I always read the line with the question mark first. I always read the question by starting with the line with the question mark. Okay, I always read it first, the line with the question mark, because from the, I call this the requirement sentence. The sentence that comes with the question mark, that's the requirement sentence. If you focus on that, then you know what you're trying to achieve. Okay, so let's say the question has a few paragraphs. I will still read the line with the question mark first. Okay, read this first. It's like you are setting a GPS. You are going to a place. You have to set the GPS first, right? Especially a place that you have no idea about. You don't know how to go. You have never been to there. So you have to set GPS first. So when you are solving the question, you must know what you are looking for first. Just like when you're driving to a place that you have no idea about, you set the GPS first. Then only you start to head to there, following the GPS. Okay, so solving question here is the same. See the line with the question mark first, so that you know what you're trying to find first. Then you find your way to find it. Okay, find your way to find it by reading other parts of the question. Strategy lah, okay, strategy. 7, which entry should be made in John's book? So we are John, and then have to focus on 10 September. 1st September, Peter, are we Peter? No, we are not Peter, okay, we are John. Peter sent a check to us, okay, Peter sent a check to us. Peter must be our customer lah, okay, Peter must be our customer. We receive a check from Peter. Correctly entered in John's book. In our book, we debit bank lah. We debited bank, credit Peter. Okay, we must have debited bank, credit Peter. On 10, the check was written unpaid due to lack of funds. This is dishonored check. Okay, this is dishonored check. So the entry you did earlier, now you have to reverse it. Okay, you have to reverse this. Debit Peter, credit bank. So answer is D. So this question, honestly, quite straightforward. Okay, quite straightforward. Answer is D. You don't record it as irrecoverable debt, okay? Do not record this as irrecoverable debt, because the question is not telling you that Peter is bankrupt. The question is not telling you that you failed to find him. The question is also not telling you that Peter has run away. Only if you see any of these, then only you record it as irrecoverable, okay? Then only you record it as bad debt. Only if you see any of these, then only you record bad debt, or we call it irrecoverable debt, okay? And maybe you are thinking, but it says a lack of funds. Well, does lack of funds in the bank doesn't always mean that that person is bankrupt? No, right? That person could have a lot of cash, 3 billion amount of cash at home under the pillow, 3 million worth of cash under the pillow, in the ceiling. Okay, they may not have money in the bank, but they could have a lot of cash. Okay, so when they say that lack of funds in the bank, it doesn't mean that this person is bankrupt. Okay, so therefore you don't choose bad debt. Okay, don't choose bad debt. What would not be recorded in the ledgers of a business? We never record trade discount. I give you an example. For example, we sold goods on credit to RD. We sold goods on credit to RD. Original price is 1,000. Trade discount is 100. We sold goods on credit to RD. Original price means list price lah. Trade discount is 100. And you see, how are we going to record this? We debit RD, credit sales. Agree? Debit RD, credit sales. Don't be surprised. By now, you should know the double entries already. Okay, debit RD, credit sales. Next decision to make, we make decision for the amount to use. What amount do you use for this double entry? 900. Okay, 900. And what is the trade discount amount? 100. But you never record the trade discount amount with the double entry, okay? You see what amount are we using? We are using the amount which is after minusing trade discount, always, okay? Trade discount is never recorded with double entry. Remember that. The one that we record with double entry, we call it cash discount. The one that we always record with double entry, we call it cash discount. And when we are recording cash discount, we use terms like discount received, we use terms like discount allowed. Okay. Don't get confused between all the terms here, okay? There are a total of 4 terms: trade discount, cash discount, discount allowed, discount received. Trade discount doesn't have any other term. Trade discount doesn't have any other term to it. There's no synonym. But for cash discount, there are also 2 other terms used to describe it: discount received and discount allowed. Discount received, you use it when you are customer. You are receiving the cash discount. You use the term discount allowed when you are supplier, when you are giving cash discount to your customer. Okay, so for cash discount, yes, we record them with double entry. I remember we did one earlier. Okay, so but trade discount never. We never record trade discount with double entry. Okay, very important. I saw that it's here. See, so cash discount, yes, we record with double entry. Okay, yeah, so far so good. Okay, question 9. Question 9, which errors would be reviewed by preparing trial balance? Okay, will take you some time to do this in the exam usually, because there are 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, because there are 1, 2, 3, 4 to choose from. Okay, so you have to choose the errors that can affect the trial balance to be imbalanced. I repeat again. You have to choose the errors that can affect the trial balance to become imbalanced, which means the trial balance will be having the total debit and the total credit not being the same. Okay, this is what you will see in the trial balance. Okay, which error will create this situation? Credit purchases means you buy goods on credit. Debit purchases, credit supplier. Is this something correct to do? Yes, correct. But the amount is wrong. Amount is wrong. Is this going to make the trial balance imbalance? No. This error is known as error of original entry. This is known as error of original entry. But it's not going to affect the balancing of the trial balance, because at least they have used the same amount for both the debit and credit entry. At least they have used the same amount, even though that amount is wrong, for both the debit and credit entry. Okay, therefore trial balance will still be looking perfect. So don't choose the first one. A and B are out. So in situation like this, right, if I were you in the exam, what do you think? Do you think that I'm going to skip 2 and 4? Do you think that after reading the first one, I will skip the 2 and 4 and I see the third one to make decision? No, I won't. I will never take such risk. I will go through everything, okay, to ensure that the 2 and 4 are the ones that I have to choose, okay? Because who knows, maybe when you were reading the first one, you overlook certain thing, you make some mistake, possible, right? Okay, it could be that you make the wrong decision after reading the first one. Okay, so never skip any of the lines given to you, okay? Even though after crossing off A and B, you are left with C and D, you can actually make the decision by looking at the third one alone, without looking at the second and the fourth one. Okay, don't have to. You read everything. Okay, please read everything. Don't take the risk. Selling goods on credit 96. In the sales account, you use 96. In the customer account, you use 69. Is this a problem? Yes, right? This will cause the trial balance to become imbalanced. Okay, yes, choose number 2. We see number 4 first. Wages pay, you pay wages to your workers, credit cash or credit bank, then you debit wages. Debited in both wages and bank account. What does it mean? They have done 2 times of debit. They have done 2 times of debit. They have not done any credit entry. They have not done any credit entry. So choose this. It will affect the trial balance. Now read the third one. Purchase motor vehicle, credit cash or bank, credit cash or credit bank, then you have to debit motor vehicle. But they say entered in the motor vehicle repairs account. Okay. See, have they told you anything about the information about whether they have debited or credited? Have they told you anything about whether they have debited or credited? No, right? They mention nothing about debit entry or credit entry, right? They simply say entered. Entered to the debit or credit, they don't tell you. So after you have done enough questions, you should know what to be assumed. When they don't tell you, whenever they don't tell you whether they have debited or credited, you assume that they have chosen the correct position. When you buy motor vehicle, you will credit cash or credit bank, then supposed to debit motor vehicle. However, instead, they debited motor vehicle repair. That's the thing you have to assume here. They debited motor vehicle repair instead of debiting motor vehicle. This is error of principle. This is error of principle, which does not affect the trial balance. Which does not affect the trial balance. Okay, so answer is C. Okay, let me drink a bit of water, okay? Because there's non-stop discussion of all the MCQ here. Okay, just one sip of water and then we see the question 10. You try to digest, especially the question 9 here first. Okay, we continue. Okay. Okay. Now we see question 10. What were the totals of the trial balance after the errors had been corrected? So they are asking you after you have done correction, to these 2 errors, how would the trial balance look like? The trial balance, total debit is how much, total credit is how much. They are asking for these 2 numbers. After doing correction, your trial balance, total debit and total credit is how much? Sadiq's trial balance failed to balance. The debit column total 12250, total credit 12200. Okay, we can write them down here first. 12250, 12200. The following errors were discovered. No entry had been made for cash sales 150. Okay, for this error, is known as error of omission. So they have not recorded this at all. After helping them to record this, by debiting cash and crediting sales, what is the consequence? Don't you think that this will increase by 150 after you debiting cash? Here will be increased by 150 also after crediting sales? Yes, right? Okay, so therefore, after correcting the first error, these are the changes. Now see error 2. Discount received account 50 left out from the trial balance. So before you go on to determine the effect, you have to know the discount received account well. In a discount received account, figure is always on the credit side. because this is an income account. This is an income account. So figure is always on the credit side. Okay, and they say this is left out from the trial balance. So we help them to show it. We help them to present it in the trial balance. Simple as that. So now help them to present plus 50. Now you can find out lah, what is the answer. Total up, make sure that you can get the same figure. And that will be the answer to this question 10. Calculator. I think it is 12400. So this question also quite straightforward, not very challenging. Not very straightforward lah, but still very much doable compared to the challenging questions. Answer is D. Okay, so far so good. Okay. Question 11. So whenever I scroll down, I will try to keep the previous question at the top here lah, in case you still write down something or you want to digest a bit more by looking at it more. Now, question 11. Which entry is used to correct this error in Jacob's books? We are Jacob in this question. We purchase a motor vehicle for business use on credit from Wahid for 20,000. So without looking further, I try to determine the supposed entries first. I try to determine the supposed entry. Debit motor vehicle, credit Wahid, agree? You buy motor vehicle on credit, debit motor vehicle, credit Wahid. And then you see what they did. This was not recorded in Jacob's books. This is error of omission. This is error of omission. Wait, it looks too good to be true, right? This question. Let's read again. Which journal entry would correct this error in Jacob's book? And Jacob purchased motor vehicle for business use. Okay, for business use means related to the business. On credit from Wahid for 20,000. Okay, so choose 20,000 for sure. Debit motor vehicle, credit Wahid. Yes, this question is too good to be true. But it's really that straightforward. They have not recorded. We help them to record. Simple as that. Debit motor vehicle, credit Wahid. So you see, don't think that all the questions will be challenging or the other way around where all the questions will be straightforward. For sure, there is going to be a balance. Some questions are straightforward. Some questions are easy. Some questions are challenging. Some questions are average. Okay, so for sure, the examiner has done some checking before they publish the questions to you to do in the actual exam. Okay, so this is one of the easiest one. They have not done it, we have them do it. Okay, now we see question 12. Question 12. What was the corrected profit for the year? Okay, also about correction of error. So they have given you a profit for the year here, which is the wrong one. Okay, this is the wrong profit for the year. You have to start with this. You have to start with this, though. Then you see, a debt 1,500. That means trade receivable. Okay, trade receivable should have been written off as irrecoverable. Should have been means they have not done so. You have to help them do it. They have not recorded it as they have yet to record it as irrecoverable. You have to help them do so. So is this an expense? Yes, irrecoverable debt is an expense. After recording this, profit will come down by 1,500. Simple? Okay. So that's for the first one. Second one, no adjustment have been made for rent prepaid by Emma of 2008. Okay, this could be a bit complex, but if you understand what adjustment is here, then it should be doable. But let me tell you how we normally do an income statement. Let's say you see an exam question which asks you to do income statement. Normally, they give you a list of items, right? Normally, they give you a a list of items in a trial balance. They show you some figure in the trial balance. At the same time, they show you some additional info. You have seen something like this, right? Give you a list of items, give you some additional info, then ask you to do income statement. The additional info here tells you rent has been prepaid by 2008. Rent has been prepaid by 2008. In the additional info here, they tells you. What do you do with this? Do you minus this from this number, or do you plus the 2008 into this number before you bring it to the income statement? You minus, right? Okay, when you are asked to do the income statement, you will minus the 2008 from this figure, then only you bring it into the income statement, right? This deduction, we call it as adjustment. This deduction of 2008 is known as adjustment. And here they are saying that they have not done so. They did not do the deduction before they bring this figure into the income statement. Okay, so consequently, currently, the rent is too much. Okay, imagine that in the income statement, the rent figure right now is too much because they have not done the deduction. Now we are doing correction, right? We are doing correction here. After you have done correction, rent will be lower. Rent will be lower by 2008. Rent is an expense, right? So expense lower by 2008, profit higher by 2008. You see the reasoning? I'm trying to explain to you what adjustment is. Adjustment means this, okay? Normally, when you see an income statement question, you will see a list of items along with some additional info, right? And they tells you that prepaid rent 2008, you will normally minus it from here first before you bring to the income statement. But they say they have not done this before they brought it to the income statement. Therefore, now we do correction, the rent will become lower, therefore profit will become higher. Okay, now calculate, then we will get the answer. This is a challenging question. To at least half of the students, who go for exam, they will have no idea how to solve this. 36300. C. Answer is C. Correct. Okay, yeah, so far so good. Question 13. Question 13. What is the bank balance in the cash book on 1st September 2022? Bank statement on this day show you bank overdraft 1460. At that date, they were unpresented check 385 and credited deposit 255. You have to know the format of the bank reconciliation statement. It is whether you know or you do not know. If you know, then you know how to do. If you don't know, forget about doing this question. Okay, nothing much to explain. You know the format, then this question doable. Bank reconciliation statement. I recommend that you start with bank statement balance. There are two ways to do it, okay? But I recommend that you start with the bank statement balance, that version of answer. Bank overdraft means you do not have money in the bank. It's a negative figure in the bank. Okay, bank statement shows you bank overdraft. Unpresented checks are the checks that you pay out. Unpresented checks are the checks that you pay out. Uncredited deposits are the checks that you receive. Both of them are not on the bank statement yet. Okay, if you have studied this topic, you should be aware that these are the figures that have not appeared in the bank statement yet. So now we have to present them. Okay, supposed to write some writing here, okay, but I go straight to the answer. This one minus this plus this, you will get the answer. Don't forget to press the minus sign. Press the minus sign before the 1460. Negative 1590. This is known as updated cash book balance. This is known as updated cash book balance. Updated cash book balance. Updated cash book balance. On the cash book, it is also shown as a bank overdraft. In a cash book, bank overdraft is a credit balance. Answer is A. Okay. Yeah. So question 13 is quite a doable question. Very straightforward. Unless we have forgotten about the format. Okay, the format of the bank reconciliation. Oh, why not C? Oh, yes. Answer is C. Sorry. I overlooked the figure. Thanks for telling. There's no 1330, right? The whole question here. Okay. Yeah, correct. Sorry, I overlooked. Answer is C. Okay, good. Question 14. Question 14 is a straightforward question also. When we do control accounts, whenever we are doing control accounts, we get the numbers from the book of palm entry. Okay, for every entry you do in the control account, we pick them from the book of palm entry. Okay, so they say sales ledger control account included these. Which of these you get them from the general journal? Which numbers come from the general journal that you use to record into the sales ledger control account? Discount allowed come from the cash book. Okay, you take this number from the cash book. This also come from the cash book. These two, they come from the general journal. Nothing much to explain. It is just a pure theory. Okay, so if you know, then you know. Don't know, then you don't know for this one. Okay, no explanation to this. Okay, 3 and 4. The first two, they come from the cash book. Question 15. Total amount received from the customers in August. I see some figures here. It looks like we have to do a sales ledger control account. You don't try to, because I've seen in many cases, students try not to write workings as much as they can. They try not to write workings as much as they can, especially when they do the paper one. So what they do, they bring out their calculator, see the question, then they keep pressing. They keep pressing, press. Oh, I got a figure that matches one of them. It is B. Then they choose B. Many times, even students who whether it's smart or not smart. Okay, even students, including those who always go for math competition, they also make such mistake. Okay, because when they are trying to process the workings in their mind. They are trying to process the workings of the sales ledger control account in their mind without writing down. That is very risky, and you can make mistakes very easily from doing so. Therefore, my advice is always write it down. It won't waste you a lot of time. Always write down the workings quickly, but you don't go and use a ruler, draw this properly, draw that properly. Then you write sales, ledger, control. Don't do so lah. You simply draw one, SLCA. Then you slot in the figure. You are looking for this amount received from customer. You know where is the position? Is here. Okay, you are looking for this number, amount received from customer during the year, during August. Debit balance initially 4,000. Balance BD. Simply scribble, okay, is meant for you to see alone. Credit sales total 50,000 here. Sale returns 600 here. Discount allowed 400 here. At the end of the month, at the end of August is also known as September 1st, right? August 31st is same as September 1st. So this is closing balance, debit debit balance 6,000. So it's here 6,000. Whenever you get questions about control account in the exam, you are lucky. Control accounts, to be honest, I feel that it is one of the easiest things to do in the whole subject. One of the easiest things. Okay, now you have constructed, you can see the position of the figures very easily. You find this number now. Total up, minus 600, minus 400, minus 6,000. Then you will get the answer. Total up the debit side. Total up the debit side. Minus everything on the credit side. Minus everything on the credit side. 47000. Okay, you try to see. I drink a bit more water. Then we see the next question, question 16. Okay, so really write down. When you write down, it's actually faster. Don't struggle with working in the mind. Okay, now we see the next question. Question 16. Depreciates motor vehicle by 1,000 at the end of each financial year. It looks like this is straight line method because they say at the end of each financial year, every year he depreciates by 1,000. Which entry would Manjit make at the end of each year? This is a very easy question. However, many students don't know how to do. Students, most of the time, they know how to do the very complex thing. For this chapter, depreciation, they know very well how to do the provision for depreciation account. The complex things they know how to do. They know very well how to do the disposal account. They know very well how to do. But they forgot about what is the DAB entry. The DAB entry is you credit provision for depreciation account. Debit income statement. Answer is A. This is the DAB entry for recording depreciation. This is the DAB entry for recording depreciation. So where exactly are they in the accounting? Credit provision for depreciation account is here. I'm showing you the positioning here. This the one in green color. The one in green color is the credit entry. Then here we write income statement. Okay, this is the credit entry. What about debiting income statement? What is meant by debiting income statement? Debit income statement means in the income statement, the expense section, you show depreciation of motor vehicle 1,000. This is the meaning of debiting income statement. Debit income statement means we show it in the income statement as an expense. Okay, so this is the debit entry. Credit provision for depreciation account is here. You don't focus on the detail, okay? This is not credit income statement, okay? This is not credit income statement. You have to read the position of the number and the name of the account. This is crediting provision for depreciation account. Okay, crediting provision for depreciation account. Okay, there you go. Answer is A. So I believe you know how to do this very well. Doing income statement, show depreciation figure. You know how to do this also very well because these are often tested in the exam. But not very often, they ask you for the DAB entry. Okay, this one very important. Question 17. How much should be charged to Jason's income statement? So we are Jason, okay? What to show in the income statement, they say charge. Charge means it must be something you minus. It must be something you minus in the income statement. Should be an expense. Okay. Let's see what we are trying to find. First day of running business, buy a machine, 20,000. sorry, not first day of business, first day of his financial year, buy a machine. On that date, his old machine had book value 6,000. Book value also means net book value, okay? Jason was allowed 4,500 for the old machine in part exchange. Part exchange means trade in. I'm not sure if you have heard of trade in. Let's say you have an old phone, you have an old smartphone, iPhone third generation, for example, but I think hard to find it nowadays. Let's say you have an iPhone third generation, no longer usable, cannot turn on, but can be kept as something classic lah, okay, as a collection, but you don't wish to, you want to buy a new phone because the iPhone third generation that you used to own is no longer usable. So you bring your old iPhone to the phone seller. You say, I want to buy this iPhone 14 now, and but I will not make full payment. As part of the payment, I will give you my old iPhone to you, which is the iPhone third generation. Okay, you give the old iPhone to the seller, and when you buy the new iPhone 14, you will pay lower amount. You will pay a lower amount. Okay, get what I'm saying? So this is trade-in. The same goes to buying car lah. You give the old car to the seller. When you buy the new car, you pay lesser. You pay lesser for the new car. So this old machine was considered to be $4,500. Paid the balance by check. So what is the balance? Balance means the new machine's amount minus the old machine's value. The seller considers the old machine to be 4,500, and this is to be paid by check. Okay, the new machine cost 20,000, and then the old machine was considered to be 4,500 as a payment to the seller. Okay, you pay with your old machine. So the remaining you pay by check. Calculator 15500. Okay, he paid the balance by check. Machinery depreciated at 20% per annum. Our task here is to calculate depreciation, 20% per annum. Which one should you use to calculate depreciation? The new machine. Because you did all this selling and buying, you did all this buying and selling on the first day of the business, on the first day of the year. For the old machine, you don't have to charge depreciation. For the old machine, you no longer have to charge depreciation because you dispose it on the first day of the year. All that you need to calculate depreciation for is the new machine alone. Okay, calculate depreciation on a new machine alone. 20,000 times 20%, you will be getting $4,000 depreciation. $4,000 depreciation. But don't stop here. Many students, when they have calculated 4,000, then they see the ABCD. Oh, it must be C lah. No, you have something else to look at. When you dispose the machine, the old machine, you have to calculate profit or loss on disposal. The proceeds. This is the proceeds, okay? This is the proceeds. This is the net book value. Which one is bigger than the other? Net book value bigger than the proceeds, right? This is a loss on disposal. Agree? If proceeds bigger, then profit. Net book value bigger, loss on disposal, 1,500. Okay, loss on disposal, 1,500. So in the income statement, what figure do you show? 5,500. Answer is D. Most of the students not most lah, but almost all the students will choose either C or D lah. If they do correctly, they choose D. If they have calculated depreciation alone, then they will choose C. Okay, answer is actually D. Okay, in total, we present 5,005 in the income statement. This is loss on disposal. Loss on disposal. This is the depreciation. Question 18. What was the value of the closing inventory? This topic is about lower of cost and net realizable value. Not sure you remember. Lower of cost and net realizable value. You find cost, find NRV, you choose the lower between the two. Choose the lower between the two. You have some information about the inventory at the year end. Number of units, 500. Cost has been given. NRV has also been given. Which is lower? For sure, this is lower, right? But furthermore, they say out of the 500 units, 80 units were damaged. Could only be sold for $3 per unit. That means this will be the NRV. This will be the NRV for these 80 units. Okay, because you remember NRV, selling price minus the cost to completion. Selling price minus the cost to completion. So they say for these 80 units that is inside the 500 units, okay, out of the 500 units, there are 80 units which were damaged. You can only sell them for $3. So that will be the NRV for these 80 units. So which is lower? Is it $3 lower or $4 lower? 3, right? So for the 80 units, you times 3. For the remaining 420 units, you times 4. Okay, for the remaining 420 units, you choose between these two lah. 4 is lower, so times 4. But for the 80 units, which is the exception, you times 3 because which is lower, the 3. Okay, calculate this, then you will know the answer. $1920. Answer is A. Answer is A. Okay, so far so good. This is quite straightforward, this question. Question 19. Okay, a theory question. For which purposes a trader use his income statement and SOFP? This sounds like one of the earlier questions. They ask you, why do you do the financial statements? Why do you prepare financial statements? Okay, and they are asking the same thing again, but using a different way. Okay, they ask you, why do you do financial statement? Which means the same as asking you, why do you do income statement? Why do you do SOFP? Okay, surprisingly, it's the same thing, but they use a different way to ask you. For which purpose trader use the income statement and SOFP? Enable decisions to be made about the performance of the business. For example, you find out that, oh, based on the income statement, it shows loss for the year $13,000. Should you be doing something to change to turn around the situation? That's right. You see that income statement shows so much loss for the year. So you have to make some decision. Okay. If you don't have any reaction, after seeing the income statement showing loss, there must be something wrong about you lah. Okay. So you must be having some reaction when you see loss for the year. Then you will make decision. Should you close down the business or should you sell other products to attract customer, etc. So number one, you have to choose. Show the business bank account balance at a given date. Yes, this is shown in the SOFP, but this is a bit too narrow. The answer is too narrow. It's not comprehensive enough. Okay, when you do SOFP, is this the only purpose? Is this the only purpose of doing SOFP? Not really, right? But we keep it first, okay? Number one for sure is the answer. Number two, not sure yet. Later we see the option. To show the financial position of the business at a given date. Correct lah. Financial position means see how much assets you have, see how much liabilities you have. Number three for sure correct. Actually, I have not seen this yet, okay? I have not started to see the ABCD yet. I try to determine myself first. To show whether the business made a profit or loss in the financial year. Correct lah. In the income statement, you get to see is it profit or loss, right? 1, 3, 4 for sure correct. Is there an option that shows you 1, 2, 3, 4? Is there an option E show you 1, 2, 3, 4? No, right? Therefore, that's the only choice. Okay. Therefore, number two is out. Why number two is wrong? Answer is too narrow. It's not comprehensive enough. That's not the only thing we look at when you do SOFD. 20. Testing you on appropriation account in a partnership accounting. If you have no idea what this is, you have to revise or restudy the topic again. So in an appropriation account, the number of things are limited. So what do you have? Do you have capital and current account balances inside? No. Interest on drawing? Yes. Interest on partner's loan? No. Partner salary? Yes. Drawings? No. Partner salary? Yes. Interest on capital? Sharing of the residual profit? Yes. This one, there's nothing to explain, okay? You know how to do the appropriation account, then you know what are the things inside. If you have forgotten or you have no idea how to do this, then you have no idea which is the answer. Okay, so quite a straightforward question. If you know, then you know. Don't know, then you don't know. 21. How would interest on Annie's capital be recorded in the ledger accounts of the partnership? Okay, she is one of the business partner lah. Capital means investment from the owner. When let's say Annie invested into the business, Annie invested $1,000 cash into the business. Debit cash, credit capital, credit the capital account of Annie. Debit cash, credit the capital account of Annie. So answer is A. Okay, answer is A. Okay, so quite straightforward. Okay, capital means the investment from the owner. Whenever Annie invested into the business, for example, investing cash, in the partnership accounting, you debit cash, credit the capital account of Annie. Okay, so answer is A. Next question about company. When you see the word members, you don't think that this is club and society, okay? When they use the word members here, in the context of a company question, members are not talking about the members in the club and society. The word members here mean shareholders. In case you don't know, okay? When you see the word members, you don't always think that this is about the members of club and society. They have to see what the question is about first. This is company. You don't see members. So therefore, these are shareholders, okay? These are shareholders. Why 21 capital account? This is not interest on capital. Wait, they say what? How would interest? Oh, okay, sorry, I misread this. I left out reading this part. I thought it's about recording just the amount invested. But what you say is correct. They are talking about interest on capital. Okay, I thought it's just capital. So interest on capital, yes, recorded into the current account credit side. Okay, thanks for telling. Thanks for mentioning. Answer is C. Okay, answer is supposed to be C. Okay, just now I did not read this part. I thought it's just about capital. Okay, so in the current account of any, interest on capital is here. What else? Salary to any is here. Sharing of the profit is also here. Okay, the credit side. Debit side, you have drawing. you have interest on drawing. If you have share of loss is also here. Okay, you can see the notes. Okay, number 22. They're talking about shareholders. Which one about shareholders is correct? Their liability is limited to the total of their investment in the company. Yes, this is about limited liability. This is a benefit belongs to the shareholders. But you don't choose A because you don't choose A for now, okay? You have to finish reading first for safety purpose. For now, keep it first. Liability is limited to the total of their personal assets. This means what? Let's say there's a certain shareholder. This shareholder has a house, $1 million. This shareholder also has a car, $2 million. These are all the assets this shareholder has. This line means the maximum amount of loss this shareholder can experience will be 3 billion ringgit, $3 billion. Okay, because they say liability limited to total of their personal assets. So however much their assets are, those will be their maximum loss for their investment in the company. They can lose to a maximum of this amount, which is wrong. This is known as unlimited liability. Okay, the B means unlimited liability. The B refers to unlimited liability, which is wrong. Not liable for the debts of the company. No. Let's say the shareholder has bought a Facebook share for $200. The shareholder has bought a Facebook share for $200. Can the shareholder be losing 200? Could the shareholder be losing $200 if the Facebook closed down overnight? If the Facebook business collapse, could the shareholder lose the $200? Yes. And we call this as the maximum amount that the shareholder could lose. So that this is used to pay for the debt of the company. Okay, so not liable is wrong. The shareholders are liable. The shareholders are liable to the total of their invested amount, which is the $200. Let's say that they bought just one share for $200. C is wrong. Unlimited liability means the same as B, which is also wrong. So answer is A. Okay. Retained earnings. So actually all these questions are about company. What were the retained earnings? Company provided the following info. This question is a good question. And many students, when they see this question, when they go through the items here, it looks fine. All items look understandable. But probably students may have problem understanding this. $30,000 net current asset. What is this? This is not a typo, okay? This is not a typo here. Not a non-current asset, okay? This is not referring to non-current asset. Net current asset means CA minus CL. Net current assets means CA minus CL, which also means working capital. So to some of you, maybe this is an eye-opener. This is an eye-opener if you have no idea about this before this. So net current assets means working capital, which means CA minus CL. Okay, so how can you still solve this question? You need to make use of accounting equation. A equals to equity plus liability. Assets equal to equity plus liability. You have to expand it further. Asset expanded into NCA plus CA. Assets expanded into NCA plus CA. Equity is made out of ordinary share plus general reserve plus retained earning. If you have no idea, you have to restudy. Okay? Equity is made out of these few things. is made out of these few things. Liability, NCL plus CL. Expand it. Okay, expand it. Then you see what you can do lah based on the question. NCA, you can bring it in 35,000. Ordinary share, you can bring it in also. Debenture is NCL, okay, 10,000, 10,000. You are looking for retained earning. They don't give you general reserve. Is it a must to have general reserve? No, not a must to have general reserve. If you don't have, then it's not available. Zero. What to do with net current assets? Net current assets means CA minus CL, which means if you move this to the other side, if you move it to the other side, is it becoming CA minus CL? Yes, right? Move the CL to the other side, it becomes CA minus CL, right? So you put the figure here, 30,000. Now, can this be solved? Yes. So you combine this, minus 40,000, minus 10,000. Then you will get the retained earning. Okay, calculator. Answer is A. Okay, can understand? Okay, so the trick of this question is to understand what is net current assets. It refers to working capital, which is CA minus CL. Okay, then use accounting equation, expand it, then you can find retained earning. Okay, now we see next page. Next page. 24. Which statements are correct? Raise funds by issuing ordinary share, preference share, debenture. Debentures are part of the loan capital. They are telling you that debenture is a liability. It means that debenture is a liability. Yes. Ordinary share, yeah, part of equity. Just now you saw it. It's part of equity. Ordinary shareholder dividend. Ordinary shareholders dividend is paid before debenture interest. No. Remember the sequence? Interest have to be paid first. Interest have to be paid first. Then preference shareholder dividend have to be paid next. Then only ordinary shareholder receive that dividend. This is the sequence. Interest have to be paid to the creditor first. Then only we pay preference shareholder dividend. Then lastly we pay ordinary shareholder dividend. That's the sequence. This sequence is wrong. Then preference shares carry fixed interest of dividend. Yes. Okay, answer 1, 2, 4. This question, nothing much to explain. Is about whether you know, then you know. If you don't know, then you know, don't know. Okay. So the theory about the company. For ordinary shareholder, they receive variable dividend. Okay, ordinary shareholders receive variable dividend. Preference shareholders, fixed dividend. 25. Club and society. In which of the club's financial statements will this appear? Okay. What is this? To know what is this, you have to see the first sentence. Financial year ends on this day. During the year, the club received an interest-free loan from a member. Let's understand this. Basically, it means that one of the members lended money to the club. One of the rich members lended money to the club. When you are doing this subject, this topic, you must always be aware that we are always the club. We are never the member, okay? We are never the member whenever you are doing this topic, club and society. We are never the member. We are the club. When the member lended money to the club, are we receiving money? Yes. When the member lended us the money, we are the club. We are the club. When we receive the money, it's recorded in the receipt and payments account. Okay, it's recorded in the receipt and payments account, which represents the cash book. Okay, this represents the cash book. And then this is a loan. Loan is a liability, right? Loan is a liability. Is it in the SOFP? Yes. Okay, loan is a liability, so it appears in the SOFP. Answer is C. Okay, I repeat. When you take the loan, you are receiving money from the member, so it's recorded into this. And consequently, you will also show it in the SOFP because this is a loan, which is a liability. Maybe you want to understand what is the point of this? What is the point of interest-free? Interest-free means the member is okay with not receiving interest. The member is okay with lending 1,000 to the club, consequently receiving back the $1,000, not receiving more than 1,000. Lended 1,000, received back the 1,000 later on. That is interest-free without paying interest. So as far as this question is concerned, this has no consequence. Okay, this has no consequence. Okay, answer is C. They are just focusing on a loan. Okay. Question 26. Long question. 26. They are asking for the bank balance on this day, which is the end of the year, okay, which is the year end. How to find? Okay, you have to know very well which one goes into the receipt and payments account, which one involves receiving money and making payment. You have to know well. Okay, let's look at one thing at a time. You begin with having some money in the bank. So I draw a bank account here, or we call it receipt and payments. 950, starting with that. During the year, this happened. During the year, this happened. Net receipt from competition. Net receipt means, when you organize the competition, you may collect participation fee. You may collect entrance fee. For those who want to participate, you collect participation fee from them. Those who want to watch the game during the competition, they have to pay entrance fee. So this is your income. But after the competition has finished, there will be winners. When there will be winners, you have to pay prizes. And these prizes could be hamper, these prizes could be certificate, these prizes could be trophy. Okay, so do this cost you money? Hamper, certificate, trophy? Yes, right? This cost you money to buy, right? Net receipt means the amount that you have received from organizing the competition minus all the spending that you have paid for to organize the competition. Okay, and you are receiving 1050 at the end. Okay, after taking this minus all the things you pay for when you organize the competition. So 1050 is here. Subscription receive, the amount that you literally receive. Okay, the amount that you literally receive, so you show in the bank. Pay, amount you literally pay, so show it. Pay, so show. These are the amounts we literally pay. We always show the amount literally pay and receive in the bank account. Okay, we always show the amount literally pay and receive only. Now, at the end of the year, subscription owing by members. Some members still owe the club some money. Some members still owe the membership fee. Have you received? No. Should I show this in the bank account? No, because you have not received, right? insurance prepay, they are telling you that out of the $500, there is a $20 which is meant for next year. There is a $20 which is meant for next year. If you are doing income and expenditure account, when you present the insurance, make sure you minus the 20 first. Make sure you minus the 20 out of the 500 so that you are showing only 480, which is the amount we are supposed to pay during the year. Okay, I repeat. In the income expenditure account, we have to show the amount we are supposed to pay or receive. This is an expense. We are supposed to pay 480 for the current year. We are supposed to pay 480 for the current year. And the 20 is meant for next year. Therefore, I remove it. 20 is supposed to be paid next year. So I remove it. But in the bank account, in the cash book, we show the amount literally paid during the year, which is 500. You don't go and minus 20, okay? You don't go and minus 20, then you show 480 here. Because in the bank account or the cash book, we show the literally pay amount during the year. Therefore, this is not relevant for doing the bank account. Depreciation. Whenever you have calculated depreciation, does it involve making some payment? Does it involve receiving some money or making payment? No, right? Do you pay for depreciation? No, right? So not relevant. So conclusion, these three numbers are not relevant. The rest have to be used. Okay, now I balance it, then I can get the answer. I balance the bank account. Debit side is more. Looks more, right? Debit side. Then I minus all the numbers on the credit side. 1180. Answer is B. Now, looks like we are not going to finish discussing two sets of paper one. Okay. So if I don't manage, then we will continue with the remaining questions in the next set. Okay, for sure this set can be finished. Okay, for sure this set can be finished, but next set for sure cannot be finished. Okay, now next question. So far so good. 27. How much were subscriptions for the year? Club had an accumulated fund at the start of the year 18,000. At the end of the year, it is 16200. This is testing you on the SOFP. After showing NCA, after showing CA, next will be accumulated fund section. Okay, after showing NCA and CA, next will be accumulated fund section. You begin with opening balance, which is 18,000. They say at the end of the year, it is 16200. The closing balance of the accumulated fund. What should appear here? What should appear here? It is either surplus or deficit. It is either surplus or deficit. What do you think? Deficit, right? Because the accumulated fund has dropped. The accumulated fund has dropped to this number. So this is a deficit. Deficit of how much? We find it out. 1008. 1008 is the deficit. Okay. Then continue to read. New equipment costing 1100 was bought during the year. This is NCA, okay? This is NCA. Does NCA appear in the income expenditure? Do you show NCA in the income expenditure? No. We show this in the SOFP. Total expenses for the year, 9550. The only income came from subscription. The question is also testing you on income and expenditure account. When you do income expenditure account, the upper part, you show all the income. Upper part, you show all the income. So in this case, there's only one income, which is subscription. which is the one that you are looking for, which is the one you are looking for. Total expenses 9550. Consequently, what do you get? You get deficit. Deficit how much? 1008. How do I know 1008? Just now we analyzed the first sentence and we found that there's a deficit during the year, which is 1008. Then you show it here, 1008. Then now you can work backwards to find the subscription. The subscription must be smaller than the 9550. Therefore, there's a deficit 1008. So how much is subscription? $7750. Okay, subscription is 7750 minus all the expenses. Then you will get deficit 1008, which is consistent with our discovery just now. Deficit 1008. Okay. So this question, not easy, not straightforward, but if you know the ins and outs of club and society, then should be doable. Okay. In the paper 2, it's not possible that they test you on something like this because usually the paper 2 are more straightforward. Okay, the questions. Question 28. Which wages are direct labor costs for the factory? Direct labor costs appear after cost of raw material use. Okay, in the manufacturing account, after cost of raw material use, next will be direct labor cost. Before we go on to read this, let me explain to you again what is direct labor cost for the factory. It refers to workers who directly work on the product. The workers who directly work or produce the products. You don't have to write down, but you can hear what I say. Direct labor cost means workers who directly work on the products to produce the products. After the products have been produced, somebody has to do the delivery, right? Somebody has to do the delivery of the products to the maybe 7-Eleven. The person who do the delivery, is that direct labor cost? No. Okay, so you have to focus on items that tells you workers directly working on the product. Food processing factory, fill cans with vegetables. The fill cans are then sold to shops, maybe 7-Eleven. Wages paid to workers who load the cans onto the lorries for delivery. Are they producing the products? Are they involved in producing the products when they carry the cans into the lorry? No. So first, wrong. Wages paid to workers who operate the machines. Is this involved in making the product that fill the cans with vegetables? Yes. Wages paid to people working on the maintenance of the machinery. When they are doing maintenance, it could be changing the oil. Okay, so certain machines require engine oil. Okay, certain machines require engine oil. They change the engine oil. They lubricate the machine so that the machines work efficiently. Are they making the product? Are they making the product during this process of changing engine oil, lubricating the machine? They are not making the product. Wages paid to people working on the assembly line, putting labels on the cans. Are they trying to produce the product? Finishing the product? Yes. Putting on label, the sticker, those things. Answers, donkey, 2 and 4. Okay. Question 29. What was the cost of production of the finished goods? They are testing you on the manufacturing account. The last line, cost of production of finished goods. Cost of production of finished goods. Manufacturing account last line. Wooden toys, provided following info: prime cost plus overhead plus opening work in progress minus closing work in progress. One of the most straightforward questions in this whole paper. Okay, unless you make the wrong decision about the plus and minus. If you know, then you know. Okay, this is quite easy. Prime cost plus overhead plus opening work in progress minus closing work in progress. Then you will get the answer. Starting with 35,000. 51100. 51100. Answer is D. Okay, 6 more to go for this paper. They are looking for profit or loss for the year. And how to solve this question? You have to use some strategy based on whatever you have learned in the subject. They give you some information at the beginning of the year and giving you some information at the end of the year. They give you some assets. They give you some liabilities. Assets, liability. What can you think about? Accounting equation. A equal to C plus L. A equal to C plus L. When you apply the A equal to C plus L, the C here is opening capital. When you apply the C plus A equal to C plus L here, the C here is closing capital. So I focus on this column first lah. Combine all the assets minus all the liabilities, A minus L, okay? A minus L. Then I get the opening capital. I do the same to this information. Take all the assets minus L, I will get the closing capital. Get these two numbers first. So now I begin calculation. A minus all the L at both the beginning and at the year end. 12200. 12500. Okay. Let me press again. 12200. 12500. Now I have got opening capital and closing capital. You are looking for profit or loss for the year. You still remember the SOFP after showing NCA, after showing CA, what is next? Next is capital section. We begin with opening capital plus profit or minus loss, then minus drawing. If you have drawing, you minus drawing. Then you arrive at closing balance for capital. Now you have got these two numbers, 12500 and 12200. Are you able to find this? Yes. They don't mention drawing, then there's no drawing lah. Not necessary to have drawing. This one, how could it become 12500? Has it increased? Yes, it has increased by 300. So 300 profit. Profit is 300. Okay, so answer is B. Okay. Question 31. What was the average inventory for the year? This is about the ratio chapter. You have to know the formula, then you know. If you don't know, then you don't know. Okay. We begin with they give you gross profit margin. This is gross profit margin. We come up with the formula. 20 equal to gross profit over revenue times 100. Agree? Okay, this is gross profit margin. And they have given you revenue. Then we put it in. We try to do what? We try to do whatever we can first. Revenue is this. Can you find gross profit? Yes. Let's find gross profit first. Eh? You don't have to care about what the question wants first. You do with whatever you can based on whatever information given. So I'm solving the gross profit margin first. I found the gross profit to be 50,000. Gross profit is 50,000. Okay. Now, there's also another thing given, the five times rate of inventory turnover, cost of sales over average inventory. The question is looking for what? Question is looking for average inventory. Can you find cost of sales? Revenue minus cost of sales equal cost of it. Agree? Revenue minus cost of sales equal cost of it. You have revenue, you have cost of it. Can you find cost of sales? Yes. This one minus 50,000. Then you get cost of sales 200,000. Okay, cost of sales is 200,000. Then can you find average inventory? Yes. 200,000 divided by 5. Then you will be then you will get the answer. 40,000. Answer is B. C. Answer is C. I repeat. They give you gross profit margin. You come up with the formula. Come up with the formula. You can solve for the gross profit. This is the gross profit. And then they give you rate of inventory turnover. Unless you don't know the formula, then you cannot solve. So if you know, then you know. So rate of inventory turnover. Okay, here, cost of sales over average inventory. I can find the cost of sales first by taking revenue minus cost of it. Then I get cost of sales. Then I can find average inventory, which is the thing the question is looking for, 40,000. Okay, question 32. How can a trader increase her current ratio? Current ratio, CACL. Either increase this or reduce this, right? Agree? Increase CA or reduce CL. Keep inventory at the lowest possible level. Inventory is CA, right? So doesn't work. Long-term loan is NCL, right? Is there NCL in the formula? No, not working. Reduce trade receivable turnover. What does it mean? You let the customers pay you earlier. Letting the customers pay you earlier. Letting the customers pay you earlier. That means most of the trade receivable will become cash and bank faster. Most of the trade receivable will become cash and bank faster because you are collecting money earlier from the customer. But nevertheless, both are current assets. Both the cash and bank and trade receivable are current assets. So no effect. Sell goods for cash instead of on credit. Sell goods for cash instead of on credit. Wait, I'm trying to see that there is no answer. But for sure there is an answer. Let me check again. Sell goods for cash instead of on credit. When you sell goods for cash, you debit cash, credit sales. When you sell goods on credit, you debit trade receivable, credit sales. No matter how you sell, the CA goes up. Agree? Trade receivable is CA, cash is also CA. D for sure is wrong. Okay, now I try to rule out the wrong answer first. Obtain a long-term bank loan. Obtain a long-term bank loan. When you borrow money, are you receiving money? Yes, right? So the double entry, debit cash or bank as you receive the loan, then you credit long-term bank loan. So consequence is what? CA goes up, NCL goes up. But NCL is not part of the formula. We don't care. This is crediting long-term bank loan, okay? Crediting long-term bank loan, debit cash or bank. Answer is B. Okay, just now I overlooked. Answer is B. Okay, as you receive the loan, your cash and bank will go up. Okay, so therefore, current ratio can be improved. 33. Application of which accounting principle makes it easier to compare financial statement year on year? Consistency. Why? Because, for example, when you... Okay, there's a rule that tells you, let's say you have started using reducing balance method. Let's say you have started using reducing balance method for motor vehicle for the first year. you use reducing balance method. Can you change it to straight line method from the second year onward? And then third year, you use reducing balance method again. Fourth year, you use straight line method. Fifth year, you use reducing balance method. That means you keep switching the method to depreciate the motor vehicle. Is that consistency? No, right? And furthermore, if you do like this, the comparison between a few years income statement will be difficult. The profit figure will be distorted because you are not following a consistent method to calculate a certain figure. Okay, so consistency can help you have comparability. Okay, consistency can help you to have comparability. Okay, once you have started using one particular method for depreciation for a certain type of NCA, you must keep using the same method. Okay, prudence ensures what? Prudence ensures assets are not overstated, liabilities are not estimated. Never heard of this before. Profits not overstated. Answer is D. Okay. The B and C are just distraction. Okay. No such thing as liability not estimated, losses not anticipated. Answer is D. Ensure profits not overstated. Prudence, you know, okay, if you have studied, it means that you don't overstate the good things. You don't overstate the good things like profit, asset, income, okay. For income, asset, profit, you don't overstate them. And you don't understate the bad things. You don't understate liability. You don't understate losses. You don't understate expense. Okay, don't understate these three things: liability, losses, expense. Don't overstate these three things: profit, asset, income. Last question for this paper. This paper, how much time has been given? 1 hour and 15 minutes. But how much time have we spent here? Close to 2 hours. But is it okay? Right now, okay, because I'm discussing with you. If I do it myself, I will be doing faster because I don't have to go through all the explanation with you if I do it myself here. And when I talk, it also takes some time. And I have to go through all the ABCD. Sometimes I discuss all the ABCD with you, therefore it's time consuming. Okay. So doing all the questions within 1 hour and 15 minutes is very doable. Okay. Many students can finish all the questions. Okay, 35. That means I'm trying to tell you, don't spend more than 1 hour and 15 minutes, like what I did here with you, because right now we are discussing, so it takes more time. 35, which statement not correct about reason for using international accounting standard? Sometimes you may see something that you have never seen before, especially the last few questions of the multiple choice question. And what to do? You try to make sense out of it and you see which is the closest answer. Sometimes you may really see something that you have never seen before, you have never studied before. And okay, let's see what to do. Which one is not correct about the reason for using international accounting standard? Let me tell you what it is first. This is basically about a set of rules. Okay, it's about a set of rules of doing accounting. A set of rules of doing accounting, which is to be followed by everybody worldwide. Okay, which is to be followed by every accountant worldwide. Okay, which is to be followed by every accountant worldwide. Okay, repeat again. International accounting standards means a set of rules, a set of rules of doing accounting. And this set of rules tell you how to do the accounting. And these rules have to be followed by every accountant worldwide. No matter in which country you are, we still follow the same set of rules. What is the benefit here? Everybody is using the same way of doing the accounting. Everybody will be using the same way of doing accounting. It can achieve comparability. This is able to achieve comparability. Okay, when you try to compare a business, when you're trying to compare the income statement of a business in a country with the income statement of another business in another country, it will be easier if there is international accounting standard, because every accountant worldwide follows the same set of rules. Okay, so that's international accounting standard. Let's see which one is wrong. Assist when making comparison. This is what I just mentioned. This is correct. You don't choose. Okay? This is correct. You don't choose. Improve reliability of the accounting information. Yes. When everybody follow the same rule, is reliable. Narrows areas of difference in financial reporting. Yes, correct. When everybody follow the same rules of doing accounting, when everybody follow the same rule of doing accounting, we are not going to see a lot of differences in how they do the accounting. Make the preparation of financial statements less time consuming. Not really. If your business is big, if your business is a big one, you are still taking time to do the accounting, right? If your business is a small one, then you take lesser time to do the accounting. Okay, so answer is D.